Hey, what's going on, everyone? Neil Henderson here from Clearview Plastics in Sacramento, California. And today I want to show you a new enclosure style that we've come up with for a really popular printer, the Bambu Lab A1 with the AMS light. Okay, so up to this point, we have been making enclosures for the Bambu Lab A1 with the AMS sitting outside. As of late, we've gotten tons of people asking if we make an enclosure for the AMS light to be sitting on the inside. So then that way it's protected from dust and moisture and kind of works well with the AMS or the Bambu Lab A1 in and of itself. So we've come up with a pretty awesome enclosure. It's totally XL size to kind of incorporate all these parts and all the functions. And we kind of wanted to make this a really nice setup. So here's the quick summary of it. First off, the overall dimensions of this enclosure are 38 inches wide by 27 inches deep by 24 inches tall. And so that's plenty of room to fit the Bambu A1, and it's plenty of room to access to AMS light, so that you just get a nice clean workflow with it. So the overall design on the front here, we've actually incorporated two French style opening doors so that you get plenty of access to the front of the printer to be able to work on it, do filament changes, things like that. And then if we flip over to the side, you can see we've actually put a door here as well, so you have access to change out the filament on the side, the outside side of the AMS as well. While we're talking about filament here, let's also just mention the two other portions here. Up on top, we actually have our spool holder for the stock spool holder. So the stock spool holder that comes with the A1 will actually clamp onto this this holder up on top so that you can feed filament in through the top. And then lastly, what we have is our optional internal spool holder that you can include with your order, and you basically just easily route your boat and tube from that internal spool holder down to the print head. So some other options that we have put onto this particular enclosure inside here are, let's talk about our filter options. The first option that we have over here is our intake filter. And so we put that down by where the electronics are to help kind of keep that area a little bit cooler for people that are a little bit worried about the lifetime or the life of the electronics inside the A1. Which, by the way, we've actually been enclosing our A1 since the day it came out. So it's been over a year now. We print 6 days a week with PETG, and there has been zero issues with electronics or power supplies. As a matter of fact, we've tested probably 34 to 50 different printers over long periods of time, and we've never actually gone through a power supply or an electronics board with our enclosures. That's over about a 4-year period. So some additional info on the filters here. In the back panel here, these are our optional exhaust filter, which is a HEPA filter with charcoal impregnation. So the HEPA exhaust filter is actually a nice pair with the HEPA intake filter. So the intake filter ensures that you get clean air coming into the enclosure. So especially if you're working inside of like a dusty shop or just unfurnished portion of the house, then the intake filter is a nice option. Plus it feeds in that cool air, and then the exhaust filter ensures that you get filtered air coming out. And then the exhaust filter will also ensure that your the temperatures inside the enclosure stay well within the operating temperatures for the electronics as well. And then the third and final filter that we have here is our recirculating HEPA and carbon filter. So our recirculating HEPA and carbon filter have expanded HEPA, a larger HEPA filter, then it has more charcoal that it passes the air through. So with this one, it circulates the air throughout the enclosure and keeps the air inside and keeps filtering the air continuously inside the enclosure to help reduce particulate coming off of the 3D printer from the 3D printing process, and also smells and fumes that happen from 3D printing. The charcoal in that filter helps to reduce the fumes and the smells. And then, just a few last notes on functionality here. We've got our wire grommet on the back here to easily plug into the back of the printer there. This particular enclosure we've set up with lighting, and so we have lighting kits that you can order on the website when you spec out your enclosure. This particular enclosure is designed with our 1/4-inch thick panels, which on the larger XL size for the A1, we definitely recommend just for structural rigidity. Our 1/8 inch base option, 1/8 inch thick base option panels, they're a little bit too thin for this enclosure, so you probably are gonna, it's probably gonna be a little bit too flexible. So we definitely recommend the 1/4-inch panels are those. And then lastly, what we've also done is we've also included in this particular model our 6 base panel. So with a 6 base panel, this is a nice option for people that are looking to seal their enclosures just a little bit more. So if you're, we have got a fair amount of people that are concerned about the health around 3D printing, and so they therefore want to seal their enclosures just a little bit better to enclose the fumes and control any particulate that's coming off of the 3D printer and possibly even exhaust them outside. And so the 6 base panel makes it so that you can just seal up your printer just a little bit better. Without this option, it's a 5-sided set over design. Works great, but that option is always there for you as well. And since we just talked about the potential for exhausting out maybe like a window or exhausting out like a dryer vent for 3D printing, we actually make that really easy as well. So we get this question quite often, and with our exhaust fan and filter here, the HEPA filter with charcoal impregnation, this actually has a double benefit in that you can simply just remove this cap and the filter. It's about 10 seconds to do that. You can actually, it's sized so that you can slip on a 4-inch exhaust hose to get that out a window or out a port. So with the fan that's already in there, then you already have some airflow to get that outside. And or if you have your own inline fan, then you can hook up an inline fan to this. And then on the website as well, we actually offer a window insert that is easy to set up. And again, the window insert has a bracket on it so that you can just easily hook up a 4-inch exhaust hose. So if you couldn't tell, our enclosures work well with a 4-inch exhaust hose. This stuff is easily available on Amazon, the 4-inch exhaust hose or an inline fan. And then actually we've also designed our filters so that you can also order replacements on Amazon. They cost about $5 a piece. So we don't use proprietary filters, and these are popular filters that should be available for the long term. So that's our Bambu A1 enclosure, the XXL size as we call it, that also allows you to enclose the AMS light. And you can get our enclosure on clearviewplastic.com. We're a small company out of California. We've worked with a wide variety of people from hobbyists to Fortune 500 and even the government. And so if you have any questions, come on over to the website and get in touch with us. Thanks so much.